All right.
Like whatever happens, happens.
Awesome. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Master of the Fate podcast. I've got Jose Perez with us here today. What's your role in Chat Assassins?
I'm the president and CEO.
President and CEO of Chat Assassins, and they're doing some remarkable work around AI and injecting it into people's businesses and helping them scale their prospecting systems and their sales systems using AI. So that's what we'll talk about today, and a little bit around Jose's story and scaling businesses. So thanks for being here with us.
Man, it's a pleasure, dude. Always a good time
Yeah.
hanging out with you.
Dude, so how'd you get into this? So the title is moving from house arrest to where you're at now, building
Yeah.
seven-figure businesses using AI. So tell me a little bit about your story, man.
Oh man, okay. So how far do you how far do you want me to go?
Down the rabbit's hole, all the way down.
Down the rabbit hole. Okay. So I'll give like the nutshell quick about me. So for like about me, I did the whole traditional everything,
Yeah, do we look here or do we?
Yeah, I know. Like, am I looking at who am I looking at?
I think you're looking at me.
Yeah, okay. So we did the whole traditional everything. Oh, I did the whole traditional everything. I say we because I talk a lot about my business as a we.
Yeah.
But like before the business, I grew up with my parents working a lot, so I actually had I have a little sister, she's 5 years old. I mean, we're 5 years apart, sorry.
She's 5 years old.
I know, not 5 years old.
She never grew up.
We're 5 years apart, but even though like I had a sister, like she always was babysat. I would have my own friends, and like I had like this role of like always kind of being like the only child. And my parents worked a lot, and when my parents worked a lot, I had the advantage of like getting into trouble at the same time being very creative with things. So actually a lot of my entrepreneur came from that, by being very creative, of having a lot of time. And there's my parents were like they worked a lot, but we didn't make a lot of money.
And you're super independent too, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm super independent. Yeah. And early signs of like entrepreneurship for me was when I was in middle school. We had just gotten a computer where like internet was still like dial up. It would make like these funky noises, and I remember Napster was new, and I began to download like music, and then like being able to burn CDs was new.
Yeah.
And I remember I made like a track and I burned a CD, and I would take it to school and I'll listen to like the CD.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's not like an MP3 player. You can't like delete a song. As soon as you want a new song, you got to burn another CD.
Yeah.
So it was basically I create another CD with just, maybe 2-3 different songs. And I had the CD that was obsolete now. And I literally would just give it to someone. And then if someone said, hey, Jose just, gave me the CD and has all these songs, and people started coming up to me and they're like, hey, can you give me a CD? I'll pay you. And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
I was like $5.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, someone said, hey, can you actually make me a CD, but with these songs, and I'll pay you more? And I was like, sure. And then all of a sudden I had like my first business. Like I had like this folder full of like these orders. It was just like papers with songs. And I would stay up the whole night, just downloading songs, burning CDs. And that was like my first like entrepreneur.
That's so cool. I love hearing first entrepreneur stories.
Yeah.
My mine was selling vuvuzelas. Do you remember those things? Like it was the World Cup was going on, and they would blow into these horns that would make a loud noise.
Oh yeah,
it was a big thing. I bought a bunch of them off eBay, and they were blue and like just plastic pieces of shit. But I ended up selling them at a football game and made like $200.
Yeah, I know. I remember like making the first $100 like at 8 years old. It was like,
but
it was like making my first million.
It's your thing from a young age. I'm also reading the book, The Great Work of Your Life, for my 5th time, one of my favorite books. They talk about Dharma and looking at what you were doing in your childhood and what you were meant to do. And like for you, it sounds like being an entrepreneur and selling and growing and doing all of that from such a young age was just your dharma, was in your path. So that's super cool. But I kind of injected myself in there.
No, it's all good. And then so like going forward, right? So I did like the whole traditional that route of like went to college, got my bachelor's in finance, got my master's in business. And then I worked for the first couple of jobs was the in college was actually working at Starbucks for 6 months, probably like the funnest job I've had because of like the crew that I worked with. We would do like these crazy pranks. So like one time we moved the guys moved one of our friends' motorcycle into the restroom and never told him, and he thought his bike got stolen until he walked him to the restroom, and they're like, "Are you looking for this?" And it was like the motorcycle, and we would just do all kinds of pranks. So that was cool. After that, I went into cell phone sales. That's where I really started to learn how to sell like face to face. And I think it's like the number one skill that anyone like everyone and anyone has to have.
Yeah.
Like my like I have 2 kids. So one is like still a month. The other was about to turn 3, and the first job I'm gonna have for them is sales, right? Like they're gonna learn sales. It's very uncomfortable, but you got like master communication. And then after that I went to banking, and that was fun, but then that's when it really start to hit like a unfulfillment feeling of like, is this it? Like I worked like I went to college because they said that was the right thing to do. I got my master's because that was like the right thing to do. I got a job in the corporate world because it was the right thing to do, and I started to feel unfulfilled. So what do you do when you're unfulfilled? Well, you look for. I was looking for other ways to like either, I don't know how I would say it, but like seasoned, like give my life a little bit more spice. And what I would do is I would go out and party with friends, and we would do like bottle services every weekend. There would go on my check. I would wake up, the next day feeling like crap, and it was ongoing cycle like that for a good like 2-3 years, until then I eventually got 3 DUIs in 1 year. And it's easy for me to talk about now, but at the time, like when it happened, it was like my absolute low.
Yeah.
And it was when so when I got hit with my 3rd DUI, and this was like when I was 23 years old. I had then I was sentenced with to do inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment, and then I did 3 months of house arrest. It was, looking back now, the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
Yeah. Damn,
the
dude.
Absolute best thing that could have ever happened to me.
Yeah. We have very similar stories with, I was in software sales, and then start my own business, obviously. But also with my business partner, Nick, he got a DUI, and that was the turning point for his life too.
Yeah, I had to get 3. I'm very stubborn. Very stubborn.
3rd time's the charm.
Yeah. Well, when I got my 3rd one, I was really good at saving. I'm really good at saving, actually. And for me being 23, I had like, it's like, right now it's not like a lot, but to me at the time it was a lot. It's like $60,000 in my savings account. And I literally had to tap into the whole thing to make sure I didn't do jail time. And I hired 2 lawyers. Damn. And my lawyer said, look, I gotta, I'm not your dad. I'm no one, to tell you what to do. But if you get one more, you're going to get a felony, and there's no way I can get you out of this one. You do jail time for sure. And that was like a reflecting point for me. I was like, okay, obviously things are not going in the direction that I want, and these hands are not made for jail. Like I'm a computer guy. I'm a sales guy. So that's when I knew, I was like, okay, maybe I gotta try something different. And at the time I wasn't thinking like, oh, I have a problem. And honestly, sometimes you don't have to have a problem to let go of something.
No,
It's just all it is just energy going into the wrong direction.
100%
Yeah. So it was
redirecting it.
it was just
Yeah.
it was just I needed focused attention elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it all it really was just an anchor. And I was just getting signs,
Mm-hmm.
from God, the universe, and then finally I was like, I made a decision, which also was like a big learning lesson for me, like learning how to make decisions that to me at the time seemed impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And for me was like letting go of alcohol. And I
Mm-hmm.
never, and when I said this is at the time I was talking to my girlfriend, now my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I said I think I have a problem.
Mm.
That's how I started off. Like it wasn't like I have a problem. It was like I think I have a problem, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop drinking.
Yeah.
And as soon as I said that, like it was like putting a declaration
Yeah.
for myself and to the universe. And then after that, I kept getting tested to really like by the universe is like, are you sure? Like are you for real? You're not gonna drink?
Yeah.
And I had to like stop going to anything that in AA they talk a lot about triggers.
Mm-hmm.
So like you cannot do anything that could trigger you.
Mm-hmm.
So so that could be like getting rid of alcohol bottles. That would be friends. That would be
Mm-hmm.
girls that I would talk to. That would be places I would go eat at.
Mm-hmm.
That would be music I would listen. Anything that would just literally just trigger me, how to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that helped that was house arrest. Like house arrest forced me to really
Wow.
get rid of that
Yeah.
because I had no other option. I had no other option. And then as soon as it took me 1 year to finally solidify and my to subconscious register like, oh, you don't drink. Like that was like me talking to myself like, oh, I don't drink.
Mm-hmm.
And then ever since then, I've been blessed to not be one of like to be someone that like needs to go to AA. I could go out with friends, I could go to clubs, I could go anywhere, and I'm like, I don't need alcohol
Yeah.
to have fun. Um,
My experience was
yeah,
very similar with needing a year off for
yeah,
it to finally register.
yeah.
Oh, I don't need to drink.
Yeah, people
Oh,
talk about
so
21 days. No, you need a year. 21 days to build a habit. No, it might take 21 days to like start a habit to get rid of one.
yeah.
It takes some time.
Best thing I ever did was quit drinking.
Yeah.
Because it's like
And all of my
being,
relationships started working after that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
one
like,
thing.
like not intimate, but just friendships.
Yeah.
Even just friendships.
Yeah, you just feel so much more connected with yourself and you can articulate yourself from a true, authentic place instead of
Yeah.
a stimulated alcohol place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Well, you're forced to ask yourself hard questions. And you
Yeah.
can't hide from them. You're just like, well, fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm asking myself a hard question. Like, why was I, what was leading to that? And it's normally things like, low self-esteem, feeling unworthy,
Yeah.
like low confidence. So it was all of that. I was basically masking it.
Yeah, and like what you said, when you're in it, you're like, do I have a problem? I don't fucking know. And then you're on the other side of it, and then you're like, oh, I had a fucking problem. But it's so hard to see it
Yeah.
when you're in it, when you're in the middle of it.
Yeah. And then you got to be careful because then it's really easy to then find something that, oh, this is gonna be this is not as harmful. And it could be like
Do you have
so then afterwards, I luckily was conscious enough not conscious enough, but like I had enough willpower to then force myself to replace it with something that I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna get rid of the nightlife, I know that I just can't rid of it. I have to replace it. So for me, I had to replace it with gym and like working out and like, but the thing is that even though it seemed like a good thing, I became very obsessive over it.
Yeah.
And then that became a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because I would go to the gym and I'll be in there for like 3-4 hours a day.
Yeah.
I was very obsessed with like how I looked. So then almost that became a negative thing.
Yeah. Dude, I felt the same way. I think I had a healthy relationship with working out, but it was business. I replaced my coping with overworking, and it worked out for like 3 years until I totally burnt out. But it was that moment where I was like, oh, dude, I got this all together. Like, I'm good. And then I burnt out. And I'm like, oh, I was just coping with my emotions, not through alcohol, but through work for the longest time. You you brought up learning sales in the software company, and that being the most important skill in teaching influence, persuasion, sales to your kids. I'm curious for the audience and kind of going down the track of more sales and AI. What are those super critical sales frameworks that you think through, that you always go back to, that are your principal frameworks?
Like when it comes inside of a sales call?
It can be anything with influence, persuasion, sales.
So when it comes to sales, so this is very relevant because I have like 5 closers that I'm training right now, and it's forcing me to break down my processes, because I could go in a call and just, I'm not going in there closing anybody. Like I just go and I do my thing, and result happens. And I don't even know how it happened. But then like it's forcing me to like sit down and really break down the process. So what I've been telling my team, like when it comes to like the like a sales call, is how you had a successful sales call is that you had fun doing it. If you went in there with like an intention and you're forcing someone to do something that because it was going to lead you to like make money, you did it the wrong way. So we have some like telltale indicators like when it comes to sales. But like inside of a sales call, well, one of the things that we specialize in Chat Assassins is really pre-call. Like, so like getting a lead to have them to actually show up, be pre-sold, and then show up to the call and then be re-offered. So make sure like we call them lead leakages. Like normally the businesses have anywhere from 30 to 300% earning potential that they're leaving on the table, and we make sure to capture that. So the 3 things that we focus on before the call is speed to lead. So getting in conversation with that person like as fast as you can, within a 5-minute window is always ideal, because there's a 71% chance that whichever vendor gives them the offer and solution first, they will go with that vendor, regardless of whatever your business you're in. So speed to lead is really important. High touch nurture is really high. So just having like either one-on-one call someone or text with someone, 80% of the time that lead will now convert, but not only will it convert, but will convert to a higher ticket. So making sure that you're having an authentic conversation with someone before the call is really big. And then a reoffer is when someone attended the call, but they didn't buy after a certain amount of time. You want to do a reoffer, meaning that like either reposition the same offer with a bonus to like incentivize it, or do a downsell. The whole principle is that in business, it's just a numbers game. So the more offers you make, the higher yeses you're going to get. It's kind of like dating, right? Like if you make enough, like if you ask for enough numbers, you're going to end up with more numbers.
There's a direct correlation.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really in business, like the more offers you make, but we've noticed that there's a 30% take rate when you make the second offer or the third offer. So the more offers you can make, the more your business is going to increase in revenue, because then what happens is that the second dollar is easier to get than the first dollar, because someone already invested in you. So now you could ascend them back into that sales process. So what we normally say is like, hey, here's okay, got it. You didn't want to get into the 10K offer. We do have blah, 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 an entry offer of like 2K, 3K. They invest because they want to work at some level. And then they go, we'll suggest our clients to say, hey, then do an indoctrination call, which is really an upsell call. And then just talk to them more about like, okay, well, we're, maybe like an area of opportunity that didn't happen in the call. And the likely chances of them actually turning back to a high ticket all dramatically increase. So these are like the little things that we work on in our business for clients. But then when it comes to the sales call, To me now they just seem like basic principles, but I'm just gonna show them anyways.
Sure. It's all, we need to be reminded more than we
Yeah.
need to be taught.
Like,
So
yeah, like the intention is to like want to help someone make a decision, regardless if they go with you or they don't. So also not sounding needy it's really just to not sound needy, because again, this actually goes back to one of my first mentors that I paid during like when COVID hit, and the first book that he had me read was The Game by Neil Strauss.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I hired you to help me scale my business. Like, why are you making me read all these dating books? He's like, simple, because the same principles that apply in the dating world apply in business. How you get a lead is the same way you you talk to a girl. It's how you get their contact. It's how you ask them on a date. Is when you ask, is how you ask them to marry you, or you know, or maybe just, you know, that one night win. So it's the same principle. So it's a lot of that in the sales calls, like going to the call, like be likable, like build a rapport. Second, the intention has to be like, hey, I'm regardless of what happens, I just want to help, right? Like, I don't care if you and you know, enroll with me or you don't. I just want to help. Actually, if I can't help you, I have colleagues, I have alliances that could actually help and support you. At the end of the day, I just care about helping. Understanding so it like for us, if you and I were to get on a call, your business is your baby. So let's take it a little bit more literal to give it more context. If you had a baby and you were to bring your baby to my office, the doctor's office, and I'm asking questions about, like, I truly care about helping your baby, you could tell if I'm trying to like help you or if I'm just trying to like make a sell, because you're very sensitive to your child, right? So people go in with that, like with that same state of mind of like my baby's in trouble, like I know it's not working, or the health is not as best as it can be, like, can you help me? So my responsibility is to go in as a professional, as a doctor, and ask the right questions to diagnose something that maybe is not healthy with your baby, and to really find to diagnose a problem, and then tell you, like, okay, this is what's happening, and this is what's going to happen if you don't fix it. It doesn't matter if you do it with me or someone else, but this is like our two, and then this is like our 3-step framework of how we're going to be able to get your baby back to health, not only healthy but stronger, and also thriving. And then I say, if you like, we could go into how things look like when, you know, clients are ready to work with us. They say yes, they say no, and then yeah, it's basically that. It's making sure that I'm going in with like not wanting anything out of the call. They're coming to my office, and I'm coming from a doctor's point of view versus like they're the patient, and they need help with something. Also, when I'm trying to like use another analogy, because I know you don't have kids, right?
No.
That you know of? Okay. So, okay, as a parent, I'm a parent. No one likes to be told how to parent. So therefore, if I tell you, like, you should do this with your kid, like you're gonna build a wall. You're gonna build like don't tell me how to parent. So the same thing, if I tell you how to run your business, you're gonna build a wall. You're gonna be like, don't tell me how to like run a business. Like, I know how to run a business. So we always say indirectly things like, okay, well, you know what, this is very common. So what we have done with clients is we've done X, Y, and Z. So I'm talking to
what
you
I've done with my baby.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah. So how I do it with other babies is a X, Y, Z, and I'm talking to them indirectly, so that it starts to give them an idea of like, okay, that's something I could probably try. You know, they become more open to it. And then as soon as we cover that area, then of course we talk about like experiences what they can experience. We do projections, and then afterwards we go into the offer. So I mean, I just threw up a lot there. So
No, that's good. I
don't know
love
if that makes
the
sense.
I love the baby lens, the baby analogy, and thinking
Yeah.
about it that way in sales, and not overreaching or overselling or anything like that. I am curious about the setting part of things, which you guys are the masters at, with first speed to lead.
Yeah.
So are most people coming in through a paid ad and they're opting into a low ticket or a lead magnet? And then what are the systems on the back end that are set up to respond to that person as fast as possible?
Yeah. So we have like 60 plus business coaches that we work with. There's like every business is unique as a fingerprint. So there's no like one right or wrong way of doing it. Like it's either, it's either thriving or it's not. And we treat every business differently. So, but they all have the same framework. Client
Dating
attraction.
the girl.
Yeah, exactly. Client attraction, selling machine, and then money extraction. So it's really just three layers. So it really has to do with as soon as someone has expressed interest, it doesn't have to be a human first, but an automation has to hit that at least feels human. So what we do, at least like in our elite system, is and then we tell our clients to do this, is like we actually send a picture of someone. Primarily you want a female. You want a female because female, regardless if it's a male or female, it's not intimidating. So if you go to a bank and there's like if you know, I used to work at banks.
Yeah.
All tellers are females. At least like a high number of them are females. Reason why is because when someone goes when someone goes to like a teller, the teller, they don't know this. People don't know this, but tellers are actually salespeople, and they're trained to ask questions. And if you have a guy asking you questions, and you're like, "Why are you asking all these questions, bro?" Versus a female asking you questions, it's like your guard for some reason just goes down. You're just kind of like you're not as intimidated. You're like, "Oh, she's just curious," And and females have a very natural way of they just have higher emotional intelligence, right? So they could read between the lines.
Yeah.
So anywho, so we take the principle of that and we have like a female picture saying like, "Hey, this is Maddie from Chat Assassins. I'm the relationship manager here. I'm going to be your concierge until your appointment's set." And what else?
So are they opting in this situation? They're opting in through a book a call?
Yeah, let's just say it's a VSL. Let's
Yeah.
just say it's like let's say it's an ad to a VSL and they book a call, right? Which is super simple. And then so the thing is that even though these things are automated, we're already adding a human touch to it, but we do have a human on the back end waiting for a reply if they do reply. So then a human communication exercise happen. And then part of the conversation is just sharing like, "Hey, I'm going to be sharing some wins of a part of our organization is that we like to share wins. So the next few days I'll just share a couple wins. Also, you can see what you can expect type of deal. And then also before someone shows up to a call, you want to do your best to share dramatic demonstrations. So dramatic demonstrations, like we're Chat Assassins, so people always are curious, like, well, how do they sound like? What is it? Is it software? Is it a human? Like how good is their writing? How good is their selling?
Yeah.
So they're always asking so it's like, why don't we just show you? Like here are like sample conversations, and these are real conversations from our clients' accounts. And then that's a form of dramatic demonstration. Another thing that we have is phone assassins. So they're outbound dialers. We like this is how they sound. Another thing is like, oh, we have AI now. Like, here's a demo. This is how it looks like. This is how it works. So we try to like give them as much as possible. So it's speed to lead by adding some automation, and then later follow it up with some AI, and then start to like right away give them like some dramatic demonstrations. Because they're curious, and then you get them on a call, and then that's when the call happens.
So you're building up a lot of the framework that I think in terms of relationships, whether it be a woman or courting, or like with a lead and a prospect, is passion, intimacy, commitment. So you're building up a lot of passion with the testimonials that you're sending over and the demos and all of that stuff, and also with the picture and all of that. What are there questions that you ask before the call, or is it, hey, we built up so much passion, let's get you on a call to go over some intimacy questions to go deeper into your business, or what does that look like?
Not really. I mean,
No, that's
not
fair.
really. Like,
Yeah.
the reason for that is because our solution is so specific,
Mhm.
you know, and the problem that we fix is so specific
Mhm.
that, and then our title, Chat Assassins, kind of says quite a bit already.
Mhm.
So, like, we don't ask a lot of questions. All we really want to know is like, where are you at in revenue and where do you want to be?
Mhm.
You know, and that lets us know like, okay, what stages in business are you? Like,
Mhm.
and then like, yeah, like what stages in business are you, and is the goal that you want with your current resources and team and systems, are they, you know, it's not that if they're possible, but are the timelines set correctly,
Mhm.
right? So so yeah, so at the end of the day, we don't ask too many, like,
No, that's great.
yeah,
And
too
then you
many
get on a
questions.
call, you
Yeah.
ask intimacy questions,
Yeah.
you go deeper, and then get the commitment. So from speed to lead, boom, we got the message back. And then where do people usually drop the ball? They're really good at responding back to leads through automation or through their setter team. Where do they usually drop the ball between getting back to them to actually booking the call with them?
So like, it's you want to be able, well, there's a couple, right? So
And it could be asking too many questions, since you guys don't
yeah,
ask too many questions before the call. Yeah.
I would say is it's okay. So there's this for our clients. I think this is a better match. Is getting a qualified lead. So not everyone should be moved to a call. So so there is the qualification process, but the problem is like what to do with if they don't qualify, right? And a lot of the times, like in businesses, everybody's always raving about high ticket, but what's underrated, and it's normally a big revenue that opportunity that's being left on the table is entry offers. So what people don't know is that you could actually sell, like, you know, depending on the business and your authority level, but you could sell $3,000 and below offers inside of the DMs. So, you know, instead of exhausting your sales team and moving everybody to sales call, just, you know, really identify, like for us, for example, like if you're not above $25,000, we've actually increased it now to like 30,000. So if you're not like above $30,000 in revenue
A month. Yeah.
then we will not offer you a certain product. You know, so we're only going to talk about one thing only. So with other clients, it's the same thing. It's like as soon as we know the qualification, it's like maybe they don't have it done for you. Maybe they just have like a high ticket that's, you know, 10K, but they don't have an entry offer. So we force them to make an entry offer. We'll say, hey, we'll just take the first 2-3 months of your existing offer just so that we could create a curriculum. And they'll get them wins in the first 6 weeks. And then that allows to recapture, you know, 30% of revenue that you normally would have probably just left on the table. And that has happened. Like we've been able to recapture a lot of money just doing that because, you know, maybe like 10 or 20% of their leads are good qualifiers for the high ticket. Everybody else is not. So what are they offering them? Nothing.
Yeah.
So that's just money being left on the table again.
That's great. So they're not qualified. You do a downsell. Are you doing anything? I'm curious with AI to downsell. Have you guys started?
Yeah, so so we have like new technology with,
And you don't have to answer.
Yeah,
but-
so we have like new technology with
Yeah.
AI. So right now, it's doing appointment setting. Okay, but it's still in beta. Like I don't want to say like, oh, it's killing it, it's crushing it.
Anybody that's saying that is fucking lying right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
There's a lot of work that goes into
So
that.
it's still like not at the level we want it to. It's human conversation is very high level. So being able to get like AI to do that, right now we're putting the framework together. But it's learning. It's learning how to respond to scenarios. Because then if you really think about it, there's only so many variations of those conversations where eventually AI can pick it up. So it's doing that, but the parts that's been very successful at has been actually following up with leads, and then doing reoffers. So normally it's like abandoned carts. And the reason why is because they already went through your whole sales system. So they already got educated. They already talked to a human. They already went through the sales process. They're still in this limbo of decision making. They just have like these final questions that if someone was just to like follow up with them, because normally that's another part where businesses drop the ball. Follow up, like you gotta like constantly. We have this. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there you go. I have like buy or die. So we learned this from Dan Kennedy, and he said as a marketer, the lead either buys or dies, but as a marketer, you never stop following up nor marketing, right? So we adapted this methodology of like we're going to always follow up, but we're going to always follow up with value. It's like, hey Andrew, just thought about you. We just created this podcast that you would benefit. Hey Andrew, just got a recent win from someone that went from here to here. Just wanted to send this to you. Hey Andrew, we have this thing that's coming up. By the way, are you still interested in Chat Assassins? Question mark. And if as long as they don't say no, we just keep following up. And then eventually they reply saying, hey, I'm so sorry. I've actually been traveling for the past 3 months and my phone hasn't been like on. I'm just looking at the messages now. Yes, I'm super interested. Let's get on. Let's do a deal. Right? Because as business owners, we like get psyched up saying like, oh, they're not replying to me. So like they're not interested. It's going back to like the whole dating psychology. Is like, oh, she's ghosting me. He's ghosting me. He's not interested. It's like, no, like just keep following up until they say like, I'm not interested. Dude, I'm married or like.
So that is so great. So you send out either a text blast of, hey, here's the new thing. And then AI will take over from there if they respond and book them back in.
Yeah, exactly. The beauty about AI is that it does not have emotions. It does not have emotions, so it has a mission and it continues to do it, and it just answers questions. And it's just very consistent and persistent. Versus the human side, at least like an advanced salesperson or closer knows this and doesn't allow it to slow them down. But normally, people are human, and we run into this like, oh, am I not like good enough? Like, maybe I should have done it differently. Am I even in the right industry? You start questioning yourself, you start doubting yourself, you stop following up, or you're not as consistent, not as persistent. And then that starts to bleed into yourself, and that starts to like mess you up.
Damn, that's awesome, man. So you, do you guys use Go High Level?
We do.
Set the CRM? Cool. So
that's one of them.
Yeah, you're building out your own what is it? Proprietary?
So
that's the word.
So we have our own AI software that's separate from any CRM system, but it can plug into any CRM system.
Any CRM system.
Yeah, so right now it's so the CRM system right now, well, not the CRM system, but the software is chatassassin.ai. So it's still, we're about to take it to market soon. So ultimately we wanted to eventually take over what a human can do in a chat conversation, but normally paired with a human. And it's the example that I was talking to you about earlier. It's more like Teslas and planes. Like Teslas could drive by themselves. From like, let's say here to 5 miles. Like here, like right now we're in Miami. Like we go to Orlando, you go on the freeway. It'll take you all the way to Orlando without any need. But and then the same thing with the flight. Like when you go on a plane, the pilot can actually turn on autopilot and it can fly you from here, Miami to LA. But there's gonna be bumpy areas. There's gonna be turbulence where it signals saying, hey, I'm going into a rough area. I don't know how to handle this. Can you support me? So that's the same way that AI works. It's like, I'm doing all these things, and then it's like turbulence, bumpy areas. I need help. I need support. And it's not 100% of the time. It's really just like 30 to like 20. And then it starts to like get really, really, really good to the point it just needs like 5% support by a human. So the human, it's still involved. So the best way to think about this is that we're moving away from people like think about like digging a hole, right? Right now, the way we're digging holes is with shovels, and we need like 5 people to make one big hole. Now what we're doing is removing the shovels. We're bringing in the machinery that I don't know what they call it, diggers. Yeah. And we're just having one person operate it and get a job done that normally will take a week, be done like in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that is great, dude. And then, do you guys tell them that it's a bot, or do you?
This is all according to like client discretion, what they want.
Yeah.
But normally we say it's a person.
Nice.
We'll just name them. Because the thing is that you can build a persona. Like I could literally clone you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it is me, but it's not me, because it's something I would say, but I didn't say it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So at the same time, you're not necessarily lying, because it's something you would say. So you could just kind of think about it as like a really advanced frequent asked question system.
Yeah. Dude, I built out my own bot in ChatGPT with my personality. It's still getting there, but I'm just feeding it more context and more of my content and all that. It's a weird time to be alive. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's super cool, dude. Well, I know you got to get back with your kids coming up here. But if people want to know more, where do they go?
Honestly, right now we've been really big on Instagram. So joseperez.inc.
Cool.
You can follow me there, on Facebook, but Instagram is my most. You'll see all of my content there.
Cool. I'll drop it in the notes.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, my
Appreciate it.
pleasure.
Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.